And welcome back to episode 97 of the MindCep Podcast, helping you flex your mind, body, and soul. Today's episode, it's 11:09 p.m. on a Friday night, making sure I get in this episode, whether it's 5 minutes, 1 minute, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes. And whether I have guests or not, I want to keep with the production schedule of the MindCep Podcast for every Friday, whether it's, pre-scheduled from the morning or an evening episode. So here we go. This episode is on my recent 30 days no alcohol challenge, how it affected me, how it affected my cravings, how it affected me mentally. So like if my cognition improved and some other areas as well. So let's dive right into it. Again, this is the MindCep Podcast, where we help you flex your mind, body, and soul. Today's episode 97. I'm your host, Alex Meir. And again, this is the podcast where we explore the power of the mind and how to optimize it for a better life. And today, I'm going to share with you my experience of doing a 30-day no alcohol challenge and why you might want to try it too. As you may know, alcohol is widely used and socially accepted substance that can have various effects on your mental and physical health. While moderate drinking can have some benefits, such as reducing stress and improving social interactions, excessive or frequent drinking can have negative consequences, such as increasing the risk of cancer, heart disease, liver damage, and addiction. Alcohol can also interfere with our sleep quality, mood, focus, attention, and creativity. That's why I decided to take a break from alcohol for 1 month and see how it would affect me. I was inspired by the concept of Dry January, a movement that encourages people to abstain from alcohol for the first month of the year. I thought it would be a good way to start the new year with a fresh and healthy mindset, and to challenge myself to break a habit that I had become too comfortable with. So, how did it go? Well, I have to say, it was not easy at first. I had to deal with some cravings, especially when I was in social situations where everyone else was drinking. I also had to face some peer pressure and questions from my friends and family who were curious or skeptical about my decision. I had to explain to them why I was doing this, and that it was not just because I had a problem with alcohol, but because I wanted to experiment with my health and well-being. But as the days went by, I started to notice some positive changes. Here are some of the benefits that I experienced from taking a break from alcohol. Number 1, I slept better. Alcohol can disrupt our sleep cycles and prevents us from getting deep and restful sleep. Without alcohol, I found that I fell asleep faster, woke up less often, and felt more refreshed and energized in the morning. Number 2, I lost weight. Alcohol is high in calories and can stimulate our appetite and lower our inhibitions, leading us to eat more and make unhealthy choices. Without alcohol, I consumed fewer calories and made better food decisions, which resulted in losing some unwanted pounds. Number 3, I saved money. Alcohol can be expensive, especially if you drink out at bars or restaurants. Without alcohol, I spent less money on drinks and tips and more on the things that I enjoyed or needed. Number 4, I improved my mood. Alcohol can affect our brain chemistry and cause fluctuations in our emotions, such as anxiety, depression, irritability, and anger. Without alcohol, I felt more stable, calm, and happy, and less prone to mood swings and negative thoughts. And number 5, I enhanced my creativity. Alcohol can impair our cognitive functions and limit our ability to think outside the box, solve problems, and generate new ideas. Without alcohol, I felt more clear-headed, focused, and inspired, and I was able to work on some creative projects that I had been putting off or struggling with. These are some of the benefits that I noticed from taking a break from alcohol. Of course, your experience may vary depending on how much and how often you drink, and what other factors are involved in your life. But I encourage you to give it a try and see for yourself what happens when you stop drinking for a month or more. You might be surprised by the results, and you might even decide to make it a permanent or occasional change. If you're interested in learning more about the effects of alcohol on your health and how to take a break from it, I recommend checking out some of the sources that I use for this episode, which you can find in the show notes. You can also join the online community of people who are doing or have done the no alcohol challenge and share your stories, tips, and support. That's all for today's episode of MindCep. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a review, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And don't forget to tune in to next time. when I'll be talking about another topic related to the mind and how to optimize it for a better life. Until then, stay mindful, stay healthy, and stay happy. Bye for now. Disclaimer. The information I provide to the podcast listeners of MindCep is based on my own research and personal experience. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Not all information is factual or has scientific evidence to support it. I am simply sharing the best information I can find and finding valuable content to help you improve your mental health and well-being. Please consult your doctor or therapist before trying any of the modalities I discuss on this podcast. And this episode is brought to you by RadioGuestList.com, the #1 free radio guest, podcast, and talk show guest expert interview booking service on the internet. This episode is brought to you by PodcastGuest.com, connecting podcasters with great guests. Podcasters. Find relevant experts and other podcasters to be guests on your podcast. Experts, guests, and more. Get booked on great podcasts to expand your reach and audience. PodcastGuest.com connects podcasters with experts, authors, and other podcasters to be guests on their podcasts. Do you love listening to the MindCep Podcast and want to support us? Here's how you can do it. Simply use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. It won't cost you anything extra, but we'll get a small commission from Amazon for every purchase you make. This way, you can help us keep producing high-quality content for you and millions of other listeners. Just click on the link below and start shopping. Thank you for your support. Affiliate disclosure. Using our link for Amazon earns commission, supporting the MindCep Podcast. Our endorsement is based on quality and potential to enhance your well-being. Thank you for your support. The MindCep Mission. MindCep's mission is to empower 30+ million listeners worldwide to achieve optimal mental and physical health through engaging podcasts, inspiring positive change for future generations. Dear listeners, I thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to the MindCep Podcast. This is your host, Alex Muir, helping you flex your mind, body, and soul. And I just want to start off by saying I appreciate you. I appreciate you listening to this podcast. I appreciate your feedback on my episodes and following the show. And I would like your feedback as well in the form of a short rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Spotify Podcast now has a rating and review section. So I would love your feedback on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, to help me attract great guests and to help me further the show and develop the show and improve the show. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed this episode. And again, you can reach out to me to give additional feedback on my blog. That's alexandermuir.com/blog. You can reach out to me on through my Instagram, through Facebook. All my links are in the show notes. And again, I appreciate you and thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed that solo podcast episode on the MindCep Podcast, helping you flex your mind, body, and soul. If you'd like to connect with me, get to know me, and listen in on these episodes and other content that I have to offer, I'm on all podcasting platforms, and the main two, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, and the platforms that I'm most active on social, Instagram and TikTok. And also, one to mention, most recently, I'm now on YouTube, and I have my YouTube channel as well, that I will have listed on in the show notes, and would love to connect with you. You can check out my YouTube channel, Instagram page, and my podcast on all the podcasting platforms. And looking forward to you listening in on future episodes. Thank you all for listening, and be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and also subscribe and listen in and become a listener of the MindCep Podcast. Thank you all for your support, and see y'all next time.